everybody, welcome to Sports Bitches. My name is Rachel Panetta. I am joined by two of my best buds, Megan Gailey, Sarah Tiana. We are just getting back into action after Thanksgiving week. I hope you guys had a wonderful time with your family and you ate lots of turkey. To kick things off, Sarah, was it you that posed an excellent question? It was Megan. Okay, Megan, what happens during turkey time at your house?
So my husband CJ is obsessed with this idea of playing in the NFL. He played high school football. My dad watches games and he's like, I want to hit somebody. Like they just want to get, my dad's 69 years old and has COPD, cancer, and AFib. So like, it's like, Jeff, it's not happening. Sorry if that's a HIPAA violation. So as we were sitting around the Thanksgiving table, CJ asked my brother-in-law, do you think I could gain 3 yards in the NFL? And my brother-in-law goes, oh, yeah, anybody could.
Oh.
Of course, another dude thinks that.
And so then my brother-in-law's brother came over and they asked him and his 16-year-old, who's also a boy, and they were like, oh, yeah, with the right blocking. And what I said to them was, if you could gain 3 yards in the NFL, I think you'd be asked to do that. I think someone would find you and say, put in that Filipino 37-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you even did get 3 yards, you'd have to come out of the game because you'd be tired.
Like, there's
me out.
There's just the delusion. It reminded me of that Serena Williams thing where like 12% of men said that they could take a point off of Serena Williams. Yes. Yeah. And it's like, you guys, you cannot.
You can't. Okay. I mean, Chris used to do this all the time with, he's like, I think I could make, score 2 points in the NBA. I go, you would, no. Every shot is getting blocked. Like, you're not, it's not happening. You're not scoring a point, let alone 2. Like, you'd have to get fouled to even get a foul shot.
Is there a sport that we think we could do something in?
No, here's my thing. I think that the equivalent for women, like these men who have these fantasies, oh, I could be in the NFL, I could be in the NBA. I'm like, the only equivalent for women is how we think, like, if 875 people died, I might be in the royal family. Like, that is like our, to me, at least that's for me.
I've literally never had that thought in my entire life.
I haven't either. I have been like, now that modeling is much more inclusive, maybe they would let me like stretch marks and like cellulite and varicose veins. Maybe they'd be like, we need her in the Victoria's Secret fashion show with her knocked knees.
I remember one time in Burger King, someone, like the lady that I was ordering from, she was like, do you model? And I was just like, Mom, see what I'm saying? Like, let's go to the big city. But I tried and no one let me.
I don't think there's a sport. Like, I don't think that, like,
no, definitely not for me.
We think, like, I could score a goal in soccer. I'm like, I don't even think I could run the length of the field.
Maybe if I was the perfect combo of, like, buzzed and high, I could get a strike in bowling. But, like, that's really hard for me.
That is what I was going to say. I would underhand it. There's no defense that I have to worry about except for guards up. I'm getting a
and I'm still scoring the lowest out of the tournament. Like it's like maybe I'm cracking 100.
I thought it would be kind of funny if we pull the men in our lives into this pod and they have no idea that we're going to do this and we just ask them point blank if they can gain 3 yards if they get put into a football game. Okay, Chris is here, Zach is here, the husbands are here. Or 2 out of 3 of them.
CJ's not here. He has a rec league playoff game, and he's the 4th best player on the team, so they do need him.
Okay.
Wow.
The question,
prayers to his Achilles.
Here, let me put this on you. Okay, the question for you guys is: you're in an NFL game. Could you gain 3 yards?
Nope.
Yeah, no.
In your heart, do you?
Absolutely.
In your heart,
absolutely not.
I could get 1 yard.
No, you couldn't.
3. Yeah.
No, you couldn't. Have you ever stood on the sideline for an NFL game?
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
1 yard.
Absolutely not.
My
not
realist.
on everyone, not 3, but 1.
In your heart.
It would be -5. As soon as you got the ball, you would be tackled.
1 yard, head down.
Nope.
We're getting
Sorry.
that yard
And, like-
and a spoonful of CTE, but 1 yard.
Nope.
Chris say he can
You have
get
no
it?
chance.
What if
He's not a believer.
What about making a shot in the NBA?
How wide open are we? What the thing is, I don't understand is these guys the closing speed and the length of these guys is incredible. Like, you'd never get a shot off. Like, so I have a friend who says this. He's like, I could score 1 point if I played an entire NBA season. And I'm like, no, you couldn't.
No.
You're so slow, you'd never get a shot off. And you're so weak, they'd immediately take the ball from you.
Yeah.
But you don't think you could.
Right.
Well, I mean, I could. I'm kidding, but he could.
1 yard, 1 basket. I could get you that.
All right.
0.
82 games,
You sound like
I could
Rich.
get-
Rich thinks he could get a point off Carlos Alcaraz. Like, you guys are insane.
No, I couldn't do that.
Like,
I
what
could- I could
dreamland
get
do you guys
I
live
could get
in?
you 1 bucket, and I could get 1 yard.
Let it be known that the dumbest conversation ever had on this podcast is between two men.
No, I think this is good. I think this is
No, I think he's the real.
No, I'm
one
saying
side.
none of this is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're the
okay,
best.
okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm amazing. No one forgets
Thank you,
that.
men.
Bye.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
There are sports hunks.
Z said that it was only 1 yard, but I know in his heart of hearts, and we're gonna have the conversation later. He's
Yeah.
like, I could do it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised he said no. I thought he was going to say yeah.
I know. Well, he has he has a recording going. What's weird about CJ? It's like you weren't even a running back. You were a defensive end. Like, that wasn't even your position. It's really
Oh
strange.
my god. These fantasies. Anyway, kudos to me and the doing this pod from Buckingham Palace next year. After there's a vicious earthquake around Europe.
Okay, so
Anyway.
we're leaving Thanksgiving in the dust. And we are shuffling towards Christmas, which means it's time for Megan to do a review of the Christmas movie that we made her watch. Megan, take it away.
Okay, so I decided to watch the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift inspired Christmas movie, Christmas in the Spotlight. There is a Hallmark movie. I am legally not allowed to watch and speak on Hallmark movies, and so I stuck to Lifetime. Lifetime movies, I will say, have a lot more sex, and there will be a gay friend. So that is the difference between Lifetime and Hallmark. I have watched over 150 Lifetime movies in my lifetime, pun intended. So I've seen everything they've got to throw. Christmas, Babysitters, The Wrong Principal. I will say this is the most money they have ever spent on a production. It is the best looking film they've ever made.
Wow.
Now, I really, when it comes to these type of movies, I either want them to be like good or really bad. I usually want them to be really bad. And I'll say this sort of was like good in a way that wasn't that exciting. Like, they had all of the beats of these guys' life. The changes they made were strange. Like, in the movie, the guy who is Travis Kelce, his name is Drew Gonzo Gonzville.
No, it's not. You're making that up.
No, I'm not. And at the first
It's like a foreshadowing of Travis Kelce next season. Gonzo.
Drew Gonzo Gonville. And when they first show him, the back of his jersey says Bonville. And so at some point they changed his name and then did not go back in AI.
Oh my
god.
What?
Yes. So instead of being a tight end, he's a wide receiver. And it's like, why? Why not just make him a tight end? His brother in the movie is the star quarterback. He is played by an actor who has to be 47 plus years old. There were just like the Mama Kelsey character, really strange casting. I do not like how they played Donna. There is a niece in it, but there's only one of them. She's probably the best part of the movie, and she's not in it as much as I would have liked. There's no Andy Reid character. I felt like that's a massive miss. There are little like nods to the Chiefs, like the girl who is the singer, her name is Bowen Sykes, and her fans are called Arrowheads. It doesn't make sense why they are. It's not really explained, but their names are Arrowheads. I will say say there are pornographic elements to it.
Give me more. Give me the deets.
It is steamy. It is hot. I felt myself yelling at multiple times, fuck, just fuck, like a lot. Like I was like, please have sex. At one point, Gonzo takes off his shirt and she's like, can I touch it? And she like rubs his abs. Yeah, so there are, you're not going to get that in the Hallmark one. So I did like that. There is a Myles Garrett lookalike in it, and it was a very funny character that I did like. The football scenes look insane. Like I said, they looked like the Water Boy, and CJ was like, the Water Boy looks like Gladiator 2 compared to this. Like these are not cinematographic football scenes. It's only an hour and 27 minutes, and the plot gets lost at some point. But the songs are kind of cute. The girl is really beautiful. I think maybe she sings. I feel like she was pretending to play guitar at one point. The guy who plays Gonzo looks like Nick Bosa. But you do see his abs. And all of the athletes, minus the 47-year-old quarterback, look at least over 6'2". And so that is at least good casting in that sense. So I think on like the Lifetime movie scale, I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Wow.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
I thought you were going to say out of 10. I was like,
I was
whoa,
like,
that's good. Oh, out of 5. Whoa, that's really good.
I'm pretty sure the quarterback, or our Travis Kelce in this, is Gronk's real life best friend who plays his body double in like any movie that he's in, and he was also played Gronk in the Aaron Hernandez Ryan Murphy show on FX.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. While I was watching it, because I have watched all of the Kate and William and Harry and Meghan movies and have from a reliable source that they are aware of those movies and watch some of them.
I would. If I were there, I'd be watching the shit out of them.
And so as we were watching this, we were like, do you think Travis and Taylor have seen this? And I bet they've seen some fun outtakes for sure.
I think that they sat and watched the full thing. I feel like that was one of their date nights, is that they poured themselves a little glass of wine and they sat down and they had a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have to have a laugh, but they would never admit it because that would give too much money. But like
maybe on like 1.5 speed.
What is the movie about?
She's like a pop star.
It's about their love story. So basically, like he plays for the Bay Area Bombers. Not even Bay Area, Bay City Bombers. You don't know the location ever, which is very confusing. So he is a wide receiver who's been in his brother's shadow, and then she is this massive pop star like Taylor, but she is able to eat at restaurants and no one is bothering her ever. And then the niece is obsessed with her. He takes her to a concert because he is a player for the team at the stadium where the concert is. They go backstage. They have like sort of a meet cute. And then he puts it out into the universe via social media that he would like to date her. And her manager, who's played by Jeannie Ma, who I did lose a massive job to. So that was a tough anecdote in the movie for me. But she does a great job. She's very beautiful. She is a massive... she's a big Bay City Bombers fan and basically makes Bowen go out on a date with Gonzo, and then they fall in love.
Gonzo, okay. I cannot with the Gonzo of it.
Gonzo.
That's a stretch too
Gonzo.
far.
It's a real big leap from Travis to Gonzo. It's like not even like a boring white guy name.
Yeah. No, and I know like we sit and joke of like, oh, white boys are created equally. They're not. And if I was Travis, I'd be like, you guys did me dirty on this casting. You gave him abs, but you took away all of the swagger.
He just looks like a little bit of a chud in this movie.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I tried to watch it. We turned it on for 15 seconds and then we were like, we're out. So I'll go back.
I know, we were getting
another shot.
We had friends over. We had Chiefs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, our friends that are Chiefs fans, they were like, do you guys want to watch this movie? I was like, which one? They were like, there's 2? I'm like, oh yeah, there's 2.
Donna Kelsey's in the other one.
And Andy Reid.
Unnamed network.
And Andy
He's in it
Reid
too?
and Richard Christie, who's another local Kansas City guy who I see every year at Big Slick. He's like, you know, he was on Stern forever, and yeah, he's a really good drummer, but he's in the other one.
It needed Andy Reid. It really did.
Everything does.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks, Meg. That was great. I think we should do, I don't know, a movie review on every episode by Megan. Okay, let's talk a little football. Let's talk a little college football because shit got wild this weekend. I actually watched, and I'm not even a college football galley. Let's start with the real big headline. I was in Joann's fabric store, and I got a call from Zach. And he's like, "Oh my God, have you seen what happened in this game, the Michigan-Ohio State game?" And I was like, "No, what happened?" I'm sure you guys have all seen the clips. There was a little bit of a brawl at the end of the game because a flag was attempted to be planted in the middle of the field, and Ohio State did not like that. And a brawl ensued, and players were getting pepper sprayed. It's nuts. The footage is absolutely crazy. I texted my good pal Jenny Taft, who was, you can literally see her in these videos of these guys getting pepper sprayed. And I said, "Are you alive?" And she said, "I'm so sick to my stomach. Like, that was actually like traumatic." I was like, "I don't doubt it. You have police officers macing everybody and then the players throwing up. It's crazy." What did you watch this live? Did you watch it afterwards? What were your thoughts initially?
So I was in Moana 2, which was equally as bad of a game.
Not good.
But not good. I wish somebody had planted a flag in that theater just for a little excitement. And I definitely wish I would have been pepper sprayed to get me out of there. So, but then I heard all about it. It was like as soon as we left the theater, I just see pepper spray trending. And I'm like, oh God, what happened? And then I'm reading about it. And you know, Michigan has had flags planted on them throughout the year. This is their biggest rivalry game. This is rivalry weekend in college football. So Georgia's playing Georgia Tech. You know, South Carolina is playing Clemson. Texas is playing Texas A&M. It's like, it's a huge rivalry weekend. And people get hot. There were like 4 huge fights across the board in different games.
Drama too.
Yeah.
All flag drama. So Michigan goes, they win the game against Ohio State, which they were not expected to win because Ohio State barely has one loss, and it was like last second against Oregon, who's the number 1 team in the country. So by all accounts, Michigan, who's like, I don't know, 7-5, like 6-5, like not good. They've had a huge drop-off from last year. They've had a lot of changes, you know, especially at coaching. So no one expected Michigan to win this game. Then they win 13-10. So, of course, the players come out. They bring out the flag. They go to plant it in the middle of the horseshoe, and a fight breaks out. For some reason, people get pepper sprayed, which is a complete overreaction in my part. And Ryan Day's just standing there watching it all go down.
I think a lot's been said about Ryan Day that, I mean, people are even calling for him to get fired because he wasn't able, like, he just sat on the sideline kind of looking dumb. But really, what was there to do? Like, it got, I mean, I don't think that athletes should have been pepper sprayed ever, but literally everyone was fighting everyone. And there was a time that they separated, and then the flag came back out, and then the brawl came back again, like a second round. And so
but what are you going to do? You're going to... Go ahead, sorry.
No.
They probably...
You go. No, I was just going to say
that
they were probably running out of... I don't know. I guess that guy just was... I got pepper spray.
Yeah, I mean, but also, what is Ryan Day supposed to do? Tell his guys not to fight Michigan about planting a flag on their field? Like, and I just, like... I don't know what I would do. Like, I think if you're the Michigan coach, you're like, all right, everybody get out, you know, like, this is ridiculous, you know, this isn't safe. But when you're the home team coach, you're just like, I don't know. And I also think his days are numbered. I do not want him to get fired because if he gets fired, I guarantee they're going to hire Urban Meyer. And I do not want to see Urban Meyer back in college football. Like, he is maybe the worst human being on the planet. And the fact that he even has a job talking on a college football show is infuriating to me. So, yeah, I don't want Ryan Day to get fired, but I can understand that that Ohio State fans want him fired, and Ohio State fans are outraged that he wasn't doing anything, like getting in there, I guess, and fighting the Michigan players too, or like trying to stop the Michigan players from planting the flag on their field. I totally get that. But I think he was already fired as soon as they lost that game.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think and I think he knew it, and I think he's just like, well,
I'm not going to get hurt too.
I'm not going to get hurt.
I'm not getting maced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think under his tenure, they're 0-4 against Michigan. They showed a graphic of the Ohio
there's
players
a senior
to try and beat Michigan. And if there was ever a year to do it, this is the year. I mean, this is the worst Michigan team.
No scandal. No scandal. No Jim Harbaugh. No excuse. That's it.
Yeah, he just seems like kind of a turd. And I hadn't thought of the Urban Meyer of it all, but I do think Ohio State fans, like, you want to win the national championship, obviously, like, that's something that they have circled every year, but, like, very closely below it is beating. Like, that is what they care about, and they did for so long, and now it's flipped, and the person you point to is Ryan Day.
Yeah. I will say, as like a non-college football watcher, I will absolutely be tuning into this rivalry every year going forward, because I do think, as bad as it is, and it's a stain on college football and a black eye and blah, 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 this is going to make the rivalry so much better, because next time that they play, it's just going to be... I feel like they are going to have to stop down several times throughout the game just to stop players from fighting. It's going to be juicy.
Oh, there was a call earlier in the game where a coach got a flag for trying to fight someone on the Michigan sideline. I do think college football is going to need to have a conversation about, is flag planting allowed or not, because it happened at Texas A&M, and the Texas coach was like, we wouldn't have done that to someone. And it's like, you probably would have, like, so are we going to do it? Which I'm like pro, I love pettiness. I'm so pro. Like, if they're going to allow it, then we cannot go and try and fight them for it. We can we can yell at them. But like, it can't lead to a melee every time someone brings out their little pirate flag.
That's what I was going to say. The Arizona played Arizona as well, and the ASU won, and they brought out a trident to, but like, that's a weapon on the field. What are we doing?
But also Michigan, like I said, Michigan's had flags planted on them, I think 3 times this year, and they just like went into their tunnel. Like,
it's a flag.
They didn't, it's just a flag. Like, and by the way, like, Sark, who's the coach of Texas, has no business talking, because when Georgia played Texas in Austin, the fans threw water bottles on the field and delayed the game by 20 minutes, and they did not get a delay of game penalty for that. Which is exactly like it's the only recourse. It was so infuriating, and like, we're about to play them again in the SEC championship because they beat Texas A&M, which I think is also a really big rivalry. I think Alabama Auburn is also really huge, but Auburn, the problem is these teams haven't been really good. Like Michigan and Ohio State is a fun rivalry because those teams were really good, Oregon, Washington last year was a really good rivalry because both of them were really good. And, I mean, the Auburn-Alabama rivalry was so intense one year, a guy from Alabama poisoned the tree at Auburn.
I did a whole podcast on that. Crazy shit.
So, like, it gets intense. I mean, last year, I think during the Texas, or the Red River Showdown, which is Texas, Oklahoma, so they have these other rivalries. I remember Oklahoma fans, or Texas fans put a dead steer on the frat house steps of another. It's just like, it gets intense because college kids are like, we don't care. We're not going to jail. Like, they haven't had any real life experiences to know.
Forever.
It's fine. And it's like, oh my God, they're all just like so dumb. So,
okay, well, you mentioned Georgia there. Hold on. That was a pretty fun game too. And you were you were on the Polar Express.
I mean, I was on my way to the Polar Express, which is an hour and a half away from my house. So about 30 minutes before we get there, the game starts. So I start listening to the game on the radio. Then we get there, we have an hour wait. Then we ride the Polar Express for another hour and 20 minutes. We get off the Polar Express, we start driving home, and the game does not end until I am 10 minutes from my house.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's how long that game was. It's Georgia Tech. Hasn't been a huge rivalry in a long time, but they always play us really hard. This is what happens when you are a really good football team. You get your best. You get every team's best. You know when they go, oh, they lost this game because they were looking ahead? Mm-hmm. The Chiefs lost because they were looking ahead to Cincinnati. They were looking ahead to Buffalo. It happens all the time, every week to Georgia.
Georgia Tech has had some impressive wins this year.
Thank you, because all my mentions are these angry Miami fans, just like, you can't beat the fifth best team in the ACC. I'm like, you mean the team that beat Miami? Your team that's like, I'm so good. And then, by the way, Miami loses to Syracuse on Saturday, which is even better because Syracuse, I'm like, not only could you not beat Georgia, you couldn't beat our defensive coordinator, who is our old defensive coordinator, who is now the coach of Syracuse. So you're a piece of shit. You guys are all losers. You're not good. Your conference sucks. And then they go, well, why does everybody think the SEC is so much superior? I'm like, first of all, there are 20 teams in the SEC now. It used to be 8.
Crazy.
Everybody wants in. So there are 20 more teams. And when these guys transfer from the school, so like we get all these 5-star recruits. Alabama gets a ton of 5-star recruits. Texas gets tons of 5-star recruits. And when these guys don't start, they don't transfer to Michigan. I told you guys this last week.
You told us last week.
They transfer within the SEC, so it just makes it like a really even tougher, right?
Yeah.
And so, anyway, it was 8 overtimes because starting in the third overtime, you just have to go for 2. You just have to go for 2.
That's also the crazy thing with overtime in college football that I didn't realize. Like, it just gets crazier and crazier.
I know.
It's so fun.
We were watching on a 5-hour flight, and it took the whole 5 hours. I was like, "What are the rules?" Like, I really didn't understand what was happening. And then they kept switching end zones. And I'm like, I'd be exhausted just walking back and forth.
They're just winging it.
The commute between the south end zone and the north end zone. I go, Coach, I need to Anthony Richardson tap out.
Sorry, I need a minute. And then Kirby Smart keeps calling timeouts. I think just to give his guys a rest.
Yeah.
But then, honestly, there were lots of tweets. This guy, 3-Year Letterman, who I love on Twitter. If you guys aren't following him, you should, because he's one of us, but he tweets crazy MAGA stuff. Like Hunter Biden should be going to prison because the Declaration of the Constitution says, he's like, he calls him Hunter Biden. Like he misspells things all the time, and he just riles people up, but he's on our side. Like he's just trolling people. It's great. Anyway, he was like, but he's also a Georgia fan, and he was like, I hope Mike Bobo, I might go to prison tonight because I'm going to try to kill Mike Bobo, who's our offensive coordinator. And I was like, I will pay your bail. I will do whatever it takes, because Mike Bobo, who was the quarterback at Georgia when I was in school there.
Any relation to Jake Bobo on the Seahawks?
Oh, I don't know.
His son is Bobo.
Any relation to my Nana Bobo, who was my grandmother on my dad's side? Okay.
No relation to the Bobo in the third Travis Kelce movie, because that's his name in the third Travis Kelce movie. His son is actually the center on our team. Bobo is our offensive coordinator because our genius offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, is now the coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. So after we won back-to-back championships, the Ravens took our offensive coordinator. So now we have Mike Bobo, who is good, but it's not. Yeah.
Real quick, moving forward, do you guys know are you in the playoffs? Who do you play? It looks like people think maybe Ohio State.
We're in the SEC championship first. So because we had won the week before when Ole Miss and Tennessee lost. then that put us in the SEC championship, even though we had 2 losses, and we were gonna have to play. We have to play the winner of Texas A&M, and Texas won that game. So now we have to play Texas again, but we're playing them in Atlanta at a neutral site for the SEC championship. So we play them on Saturday, and I think both of us still get in no matter what. It would be a lot easier to not have to play the SEC championship. Like if we were just ranked,
if you could just rest
8th. Like Tennessee's in, and who cares?
Yeah.
So
I do think neutral site in Atlanta, Georgia, it's going to be a lot more red and black than it is going to be burnt orange.
Man, I don't even know, man.
I know
Texas
they travel.
fans.
You guys,
They do travel, and my son has learned the term horns down, which is like kind of. Yeah. I'm like every time he does it, I'm like, I'm gonna buy you whatever toy you want.
I do have a tough update from CJ's Rec League playoff game.
Oh no! Don't tell us. Don't tell us.
Not only did they lose, a player on the other team got ejected, and then his mom came on the court and tried to fight a player on CJ's team.
Live stream. Forget about the podcast. Tell CJ to call us up. I want to watch the rest of this game. Is the game over?
Ooh.
The game is over. They lost. I didn't even know people could get ejected.
Is it a basketball game? Is it basketball? Mm-hmm. So Chris and I have a whole.
A mom was on the court yelling, "Don't let the area code fool you." What?
Mm-hmm.
What does that
Hell
mean?
fucking yeah. If that was my son, I would do the exact same goddamn thing. I'm telling you right now. So I have this bit about men's rec league.
DJ loves that bit.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gone viral several times, which is why I continue to release it.
Sure.
Because, and literally just men argue in my mentions. Mm-hmm. And I would go when Chris and I first started dating, I started going to the games and stuff like that, and it was really nice. It was like a nice way to meet like his other friends and their wives and girlfriends and stuff. And then I had to stop going because one time one of the guys was like, "Sarah, we always know when you're here because we can hear you laughing." And I go,
oh no.
Poor
guys, they're just trying their best.
I mean, I was a good fan. I was the one that would take their pictures after the game, when they won their trophy. But they were called the Brats, they were called something, and it was like they were called the B something something, and it was because of Chris, because one time he got kicked out of the league because he punted the basketball. He was so mad that he missed the three.
On. That's ridiculous.
I've also been uninvited from attending games.
All that does is do jujitsu, and I'm not allowed to go there.
Oh my god,
well, CJ once said he scored a game winner, and I was like, you guys were up, you just had the last basket. And
that's
so
a lie.
then he was like, okay, I'm not going to get into semantics with you.
Semantics? That is not semantics. That is just a fact. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I played rec softball for the Comedy Store. The Comedy Stores are really fun, but then too many people started getting serious. And I was like, nah, this ain't fun. The Comedy Store Basketball League was really funny because one of the comics from the Comedy Store wore a suit and he had a clipboard and he was like the manager of the team and he was always arguing with the refs. So it was like more of a comedy. Ari Shaffir was the manager, so he was like always arguing with the refs, and it was really, really fun. It was like fun to go watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh my gosh, we're having
sorry.
CJ, apologies.
Sorry, CJ. Thanks for the update.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Let's get to somebody else who blew it this week. Matt Eberflus, he got fired from the Chicago Bears. What was crazy was after that game went down and that last moment, he went into the press conference and was just like, yeah, I stand by what I think that we ran like a good game.
Yeah.
And then the next day, he did another one.
I know.
I think that's probably the nail in the coffin right there. If they weren't already planning on firing him because of the way that game ended.
But they've never fired someone in the middle of the season.
Ever. And every Bears fan was like, he'll be fired. It'll be the end of the season. I do think this was shocking because when you look at the financials behind it, he was first-time coach, was a defensive coordinator, hired as a first-time head coach for a team that needed offensive help. So confusing hire in the first place. He is now owed $18 million by the Bears.
Insane.
Unreal.
We all saw his house on Hard Knocks. It is nice. That wife gave him a glow up. He's got those 2 thought daughters that I'm obsessed with. Get them a 2025 Simple Life reboot. I love the Eberflus daughters. And so he's owed $18 million. My Purdue Boilermakers luckily fired their first-time head coach over the weekend, too. He is owed $9 million. And these are first-time coaches. These are unproven, guaranteed getting money. Which made me wonder, is there any better job than fired head football coach?
No.
I don't. Also, Robert Saleh owed $10 million. And
Well, how much would he moved to Thailand for like a year?
Oh my God. And now he's working again. So he's probably got house money, double dipping. I mean, what I wouldn't give to not work and make $10 million and look like Robert Saleh, get the fuck out of here, dude.
While your team that you got fired from is imploding. Even worse, it is my dream to get hired for a job I am not qualified for and then be fired in a blaze of glory and then cash those checks for the next 3 years. That's all I want.
That's the Lifetime movie that we should write. We should write the Aaron Rodgers story and then write the competing one for Hallmark where it's like he's destroying a team and then he finally finds someone who will love him back or his family accepts him back and then all of a sudden he's good at football again.
Wow.
Okay, this article came out in 2022. NFL officials have informed the owners of the league's 32 franchises that teams have spent $800 million on fired coaches and front office executives in the course of 5 years. Number one
Only
on this
5
list,
years?
Over the course of 5 years, $800 million spent on fired coaches over 5 years. The Panthers fired head coach Matt Rule with 4 years remaining on his 7-year, $60 million contract. So
why did Matt Rule have a 7-year deal?
That's why the Panthers are.
He was just like an unqualified college coach.
We got to get these agents. We got to get head coach. Listen, WME, get me a football agent.
It looks like the Colts fired Frank Reich with 4 years remaining on his contract, and he was making $9 million a year.
And he gave it all to Christianity. That went right to the Pope.
Dude.
What happened?
We got to get
There really
fired.
isn't. I'm trying to think of if there is even a better job other than just being born rich.
That's got to be the highest paying job to be fired from in sports, right? NFL head coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think also because it doesn't count against the cap. Like the coach's salary.
Let me look up how much Monty Williams is getting. Because he got this insane contract. The Pistons owe Monty Williams $65 million for coaching for 1 year. 1 year. So after he got fired, $65 million.
I think the Broncos, who are playing right now, like the Saints are still like they had to trade because Sean Payton was still technically employed by the Saints. Because they were still paying his salary after he retired or whatever. They still had him under contract. I don't know if they were paying his salary. So when the Broncos got Sean Payton, they had to give the Saints players and draft picks.
Crazy. As somebody who's been bought out of a contract before, I can say it's pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet.
When I left NFL Network and people heard what had happened, they were like, "Oh, sick." And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I think maybe my second marriage will be to like an ex or an NFL head coach. That's a good one. Because like now I'm too old to date the players, but a coach
I know.
I could totally get a coach.
I think I would marry an NFL coach and then just be a real problem in the locker room and just the facility. So they're like, we got to get rid of this guy. And then he would get fired and I'd have him all to myself.
I've thought about a GM. I still thought I had like players' wife looks, and then I went to NBA All-Star Game, and multiple players' dads hit on me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be an NBA player's stepmom."
That's also
I
not
love that,
bad.
though.
No, I mean, listen, like a dad hollered at me hard multiple times, and his son is an all-star. So I was like, CJ, do you want Conrad to have a nice stepbrother?
Sometimes
Yeah,
I look
any-
at these like wags and they're doing the most. Like they just look, every inch of them is like covered in body butter, and they have
Yeah.
their hair done and their nails done and and I'm like, you know what, you deserve that. I haven't worn makeup in 5 days, and I'm
This is
not going
yeah.
to. I only
This is
put
why I
makeup on
think-
for this podcast. That's
Maybe me and Gabe Kapler, the old baseball manager
God.
for
Oh,
the Giants,
Remember,
'cause he's
I
divorced.
think about him every day of my life.
Same.
Oh.
So, yeah, but like baseball wives, I don't know if you've ever taken a hard look at baseball wives, but to me, baseball wives are perfectly symmetric with the hotness of the baseball player.
Yep.
Like, whereas like football players definitely outkick their coverage,
Absolutely.
but baseball players, it's all if you're a 7, you marry a 7.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's pretty even.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, I think I'm like a 7.5. I could get a 7.5 kind of baseball guy.
Who's the hot LSU gymnast? Livy
Libby
Dunn.
Dunn. Oh, with
Yeah.
Paul Skeens?
Okay,
Well,
her-
that's
her-
different.
her
No,
boyfriend.
no, Paul is different.
No
but
bueno.
he is, Paul Skeens, first of all, I think he won Rookie of the Year, but also he is probably the best pitching draft pick to come out since Steven Strasburg, and that's been 10 years. So, like, he is maybe the most dominant. Like, pitchers who are, like, going to be, like, it's, like, generational. Like, Paul Skeens, after he's out of his rookie contract, will probably make $50 million a year. Like, yeah, he can get a Livy Dunn, They're the only players in baseball besides like your Juan Sotos who are gonna get that much money. I mean,
wonder if
Shohei's
there's
gonna make 70, but that's because he plays 2 positions.
I wonder if there's a correlation between hot guys and being good at athletics because they have confidence.
Well, they're like,
already.
they're tall. I think height is like, women see height as
I'm also
usually.
always curious how they meet. Like, I'm like, oh, well, Livy and Paul, like, they met at LSU because like,
Yeah.
they're both athletes.
the DMs.
You know, but
they meet in the DMs.
Yeah.
But, like, I think also with athletes, like, I think about Matthew Stafford regularly. And I'm like, but Kelly was an athlete at UGA.
That
and
happens,
I think
too.
she was a cheerleader, but also a basketball player. And so, like, they're at functions together. So, like, you're at school functions together, you're doing this, you're like, it's a great place to meet.
I think it's mostly social media. Or
Now.
like a friend of
Now.
another wag. Like,
Yeah.
I think another wag will bring her hot friend over and they'll be like, oh my God, you guys should totally meet. And then that person's indoctrinated into the hot gals.
Yeah.
Because it's also, like, fascinating to me how Kate Upton and Justin Verlander got together because
They're
that was when he was
hot together.
so hot, but also that was when he was pitching in Detroit. Like, do you know
Yeah.
how hot you have to be and how talented you have to be to get a
Kate
supermodel
Upton?
when you're in Detroit?
Supermodel.
He is my type. He is 1,000% my type. I
Oh,
think
he's your
very
type.
Good looking. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd watch the two of them have sex. Okay.
PK is my
moving
type.
on. Let's talk a little Sunday Night Football. This was so fun and really got me into like the festive mood finally because I have not been feeling it lately. I forcibly put this tree in my shot so I could feel Christmas cheer. But we had a snow game in Buffalo for the Bills versus the 49ers. I just want to mention off the top, 49ers lost. It was beautiful. Such a fun game to watch. The 49ers are now 1-3 since douche hat wore his fucking mega bullshit on the post game, which is chef's kiss. Unfortunately, the election we did not win, but at least we're winning in this. So the Bills take down the 49ers. It's a snow game. There's snowballs being thrown. I love a snow game, but you guys are mixed on this. Meg, do you like snow games as well?
Love them. And having just left Buffalo, I was like, I just was like, this is what these people want. What's crazy? My sister-in-law lives 20 minutes from the stadium. There was 0 snow at her house. There's like
No.
she lives in Buffalo. There is a line that you can see. I'll send you the pictures. You can post it where the snow just stopped. And because I went to a snow game in Buffalo, the Colts and Bills played on like January 2nd one year, and the field had to be plowed at halftime. And coming from like a dome, girl, to get to go to one of those like in your lifetime, you're like, I don't want to go to this every time, but it was so fun.
It's like a bucket list football thing, just as much as like Sarah, you want to go to every stadium. Like I think that a lot of people want to go and experience the snow game. People drove to Buffalo to get there at like 4 a.m. to volunteer to shovel. Or I think they got like $20 an hour.
No, they get $20 an hour and a hot meal, which is like insane because you could just build a dome. For that money, you could just build
They're building a new stadium right next door.
Oh, I know.
And it's
right
open.
next door.
It's open.
It's open, which means, so this is I think every stadium should be a dome. Hard take. Like, I don't want to see bad football. I don't want to see you have to I want to see the best come at the best so that I can really know how you're going to play. Because guess what? No Super Bowl is going to be in Buffalo. Only Super Bowls are only in domes. Super Bowls are only in warm weather climate so that there's no affect. You can't blame it on the snow. You can't blame it on the rain. You can't blame it on anything. You have to play either in Arizona, LA, New Orleans is a dome. And,
Miami.
So I'm like, why would you build a new stadium in Buffalo where you're having to have fans put themselves at risk by coming to this stadium? And they're like, oh, well, we just want to prove that we're tough. We know you're tough. You live in Buffalo. Like, we already know you're tough. You don't have to prove it to me. I know you're tough. Green Bay has coils under the field, so at least the field has, like, a fair gameplay. You know what I mean? Okay. And listen, I like watching snow games. I like watching them. Will I ever pay money to go to one? I will not. Okay. My favorite thing that I've ever witnessed in history, like 5 years ago, very beginning, crazy snow game in Green Bay. Guy goes down, first quarter, they bring out the cart. It's snowing. It's like white out snowing. The guy driving the cart is wearing a beanie, but he's wearing shorts. Big fat guy, shorts, snowing, but a beanie on. And I go, I love seeing a fat guy in shorts in the winter. This is beautiful. This is America. This is Green Bay, baby. So I like seeing it, but I'm not going to go.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying. You are thinking of it as a girl who was raised in Georgia and lives in Southern California. Mm-hmm. They love this shit. They asked them, do you want it closed? And they said no. And having been to the Minnesota and Indianapolis Super Bowls, they ain't going there again. So even if you have a dome, if the possibility is there that weather could be bad, I think the NFL is out on them.
True, that's true.
I think it's going to be 4 to 6 cities. They're all warm weather climates that they're just going to rotate through.
Always.
And I also think the Bills like this advantage. You saw Miami go into Green Bay, dropping balls. Remember, Mike McDaniel was like, I'm going to throw ice cubes at him. Well, honey, you got cute and it didn't fucking work.
Shut up.
So it's like, it's home field advantage. They like it. They go, come in here. We know how to play. A player walked in shoeless.
Mac Hollins,
they're nuts. So, and it really is like a rite of passage. I agree with you. It's like, I want to go to SoFi and I want it to be 65 and no participation.
Yeah. No, I do think it's a part of their character, These guys are like coming to snow games, they're jumping through tables that are on fire. Yeah. Like they want to, that's just it. Who the Buffalo Bills are. They're tough.
Yeah.
But you just went to a rain game, Rachel. Like, was that fun?
No, fuck no. I don't like weather.
No. We don't like
leaving my house.
Seattle.
I bought like a $20 poncho. It was a garbage bag.
No, I hate it. I'm like, put me in my dome. It rained on the way into the Colts game, and CJ was like, "Is Conrad sick?" Like, we're
I do like watching them though. When I don't have to be a part of it, and I like watching the full dummies sit in the snow. Did you guys see that somebody tried to throw a snowball at a...
Yes.
Yes.
Hilarious.
But almost made it.
Almost made
it. I know. I love that.
It reminded me of
Better aim than Justin Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Go ahead. What, Megan?
I have Megan. I was just saying. Okay.
She was ready to wrap up the combo, and that's
I
fine.
know. I need a refill. I'm like,
Let's okay. Well, we'll start to wind down here. Let's talk a little Sirianni before we do our final thoughts, because the Eagles have.
Did she just belch?
No, I just laughed.
She
Like,
was throwing up into the.
Yeah.
The Eagles have turned their season around. A lot of people are crediting Nick Sirianni.
They've won 8 games in a row.
Crazy. It's literally the opposite of what their season was last year.
Yes. And I know we all sat here last week and said they haven't beat anybody. Well, now they have beat the Baltimore Ravens. Who are kind of in their own way constantly.
Totally shut down Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So anyways, people were crediting Nick Sirianni for calling this game and being able to, hold Lamar and hold Derrick Henry down and not let them ball out. But then what I thought was really interesting, and I sent this to you guys earlier, CJ Gardner-Johnson, he went to the media and was just like, listen, the coach can talk all he wants. This is the defense. And I thought that was really interesting because since we've been doing this podcast, we have been saying that there is a rift in the locker room and the team does not like Nick Sirianni. And I feel like CJ could have gone any way with this, and he chose to shit on his coach, and I love that.
Me too. Sirianni is trash. And I think that, honestly, Jalen Hurts has just taken over. He's like, I appreciate you bringing in the offensive coordinator last year. That was, my high school coach or whatever. But, I know what I'm fucking doing out here. And I trust Jalen Hurts more than almost any quarterback in football because he makes good decisions. His whole team is women. He knows what the fuck he's doing. He knows when you have women, they are not leaving that room until they get the answer that they want and they get the money that they want. And you're going to apologize for offering me less to begin with. Okay. So I'm not only leaving that room with the money I want, I'm leaving it with an apology, and I'm leaving it with your balls in my fucking hand because I own you, motherfucker. So when Jalen Hurts has a team full of women, I go, this guy knows how to run everything. Sorry, I'm one bourbon deep.
When we record at night, we're definitely loosey-goosey.
I wish that I knew that. I just had a milkshake before. I'm ready to pass out.
I had a grilled cheese.
I'm ready for round 2, motherfuckers. So anyway, I'm saying that when I know Jalen Hurts off the field makes excellent decisions as a human being, I know he's making excellent decisions with his talent on the field. I guarantee this man is calling audibles. He's like, nice try, Sirianni, with that play call. That's basic because you're a basic bitch who takes credit for everything. I'm running this offense, and I have Saquon Barkley, you know what I mean? And I have all these great weapons on offense, and I guarantee that he is running that offense in the same way that Aaron Rodgers is overshadowing and outvoting his offensive coordinator, but in the wrong direction. I think Jalen Hurts is doing that in the right direction for the Eagles, and I'm honestly here for it.
Beautiful. We just got an update for Monday Night Football. Jameis just threw a pick 6 with a minute 48 left. Broncos about to be up 41-32. Wow.
I have the Broncos -5.5. This is very good for me.
Great. Okay, let me ask you this quick question. If they keep on winning, but we know shit's going on behind the scenes, can they fire Nick Sirianni in the offseason no matter what happens in the end?
And that's what I am trying. I guess I'm playing devil's advocate, and I don't even. I look at 8 games in a row, and then you look at Eberflus, who absolutely lost that locker room, and the players quit on him. Now, granted, it's a rookie quarterback; it's a different situation, but coaches have been fired in season. I am not in any way saying Nick Sirianni deserves all the credit for this, but does he deserve the credit for maybe getting out of the way or maybe patching things up just enough that the team could focus on football instead of whatever other stuff was going on?
I think they might be winning in spite of him because he's such a shithead. Remember him going like this to the crowd? He's not a likable character in this story. And just like CJ Gardner-Johnson said, our coach can only do so much. We have to go out there and win the game. So it's almost like they're winning in spite of him, not because of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Saquon deserves like
Oh.
an absolute MVP
Signing
talk.
of the year. Signing of the year.
So I don't think he can continue to. I mean, it would have to be like a Celtics situation where there was like something like really egregious that the coach did. Because like, remember that? What is their coach? Their ex-coach's name, who's now with the Rockets, and it was like came out that he had like had an inappropriate relationship with a staffer, and then whatever. I think it would have to be something like that.
Chahuli.
We all know who we're talking. I don't think it's Cholula.
Nigerian. Yeah. Listen, there's lots of Georgia boys on the Eagles, and if I find out,
Ime Udoka.
Yes,
Cholula.
Ime Udoka. You know, it would have to be a situation like that where it's like something happened, the public didn't know about it. We do have to fire him, and it's nothing to do with like how he coached.
I want to know what this drama was so bad.
All we need to know is that Nia Long said, "Bye, we're broken up," and I trust her.
But that was with Ime. She's talking about with Nick Sirianni.
I'm talking about Nick. Who did Nick sleep with? I'm still convinced he slept with someone that he shouldn't have.
Me too.
Is that also why he brought his kids out to the press conference? Because he's apologizing to his wife?
No, I think if you sleep with someone, you're like, you are not using our children as a prop ever again.
Wow.
Well, that's what we say.
Pour another bourbon.
You know what
Let's
I mean?
get into it. Let's break it down.
Well, yeah. Listen, I'm all here. I'm here for it if the Eagles can take over, and if I know that they're doing this on their own and it has nothing to do with Nick Sirianni, I will cheer for them.
Like it.
I'm fine. I'm here for it. Like I said, I like the players a lot. I do not like that coach, and that is the reason I think that they are trash. So
Yep. With that, Eagles are great. Sirianni is trash, and we are signing off. Any final thoughts? You guys feel good about this?
Go Dogs.
We need a sports bitch of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Who decide is our sports bitch?
I think Haley.
Maya?
Haley Steinfeld.
Oh yes, Haley Steinfeld. Congrats.
Oh, my God.
Congrats
to Haley Steinfeld and Josh Allen. Is there some drama behind the scenes with his ex? Yes.
No, I heard she was hacked.
She was
Get out of here. There's no one is ever hacked.
No one is ever hacked and then writes very specific comments. People are hacked and then are like, "Hello, I have a Birkin account." Like, my ex is an idiot.
But I do think that like Josh and Haley's relationship is really cute and sweet and quiet, and
I love a bi-week engagement. Bi-week engagement is so cute.
And he said he did it in
Josh
Malibu,
so
and it was a surprise. She didn't see it coming, and I'm like,
it looked awfully familiar to where Zachy Schwartz proposed to me.
Out of his book, I'm really, as the season goes on, I'm really hoping for a Bills.
I want
nothing more than Lions Bills. I think that could heal the country. I'm worried about the Lions. There's so many injuries on defense. I would keep a very close eye on this Lions game. I would keep
Here's the other thing, and this is what I've been saying about the Chiefs all week, because the Chiefs won in another ridiculous fashion against the Raiders on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and this is also what I say about Georgia, is that like we're always losing the game. Like we're always like, everything is so close. So you have to play for 4 quarters. So mentally you're prepared for playing 4 quarters. And the Chiefs have had to play for 4 quarters every game because they have won every game by 1 score. Mm-hmm. The week before the playoffs start, they get Hollywood Brown back. And that is insane. And it's a huge advantage. So the Chiefs are going into the playoffs being physically ready to mentally and physically play 4 quarters. And that is really tough. The Lions, unfortunately, are blowing everybody out, even without their defensive players. And so I'm like, are you mentally prepared to play 4 quarters? Because you're going to have to play a team for 4 quarters in the playoffs. Supposedly, I don't know. Maybe they'll be good enough and they won't. So I'm just saying,
they've had a tough.
It's
year
really tough. But I agree. I would love Lions Bills. I would love Lions.
They did not.
Bills.
They did not blow out the Bears. The Bears actually probably should have won that game, which is alarming. Props to Anthony Richardson. Led a 19-play, 80-yard drive to beat the Patriots. I love you. I mooch you on your cheek. I'm so happy you're back. And the Colts are under 500 and somehow playoff relevant.
Yeah,
a dream.
It's great.
A dream.
No, and I also think that Bryce Young being benched,
happy
like Richardson, happy for him, happy for Bryce Young. I love it. I love seeing it. If the Panthers come up and end up winning the NFC South, I won't be shocked because the Falcons are imploding, but I'll be happy for Bryce Young.
They've
I'll
been
really
so bad for so long.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you changing your last name to Penix yet, Sarah?
No, he's just the name on all my fantasy teams. I have Penix Envy and the Penix Mightier.
By the way, Sunday, December 15th, Bills and Lions play each other. That's going to be fun.
I'll probably be on a plane to go see the Falcons play the Raiders in Vegas.
They'll win that game. That'll
be fun.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know.
All right, sports bitches. We will be back next week with another breakdown of the NFL and all the sports and all the drama that come with it. All the sports that come. I need to go to bed.
Oh,
bye. Love you.
Bye.